you until we only were that. And with that, we begin. Certified Lover Boy, that is the introduction. That is what welcomes you into this project. Let me welcome you to the show. I'm Palisa, aka Pal. You're watching Pal Reviews, and today we're reviewing Certified Lover Boy by Drake. I think we've all had our time. We've all actually sat down. The hype has died down because the hype was there. I can admit to being one of the contributors to the hype and tweeting something along the lines of, if the album is mid, I won't say nothing. And now I'm sitting here with a 100-minute long review talking about how mid this album was. But anyway, ciao. Definitely something that a lot of us were looking forward to, I think, for a long time. I recall this album being like pushed back at some point last year, I think for COVID reasons. Then we got Dark Lane demo tapes. Dark Lane demo tapes also hinted at a lot of like, oh, could Drake be pulling from these influences in this album and Certified Lover Boy? Like the outro and the second last song on there, those both had were heavily drill influenced, and we know Drake is the culture vulture of the year. I'm not even fighting it, to be honest. Like, I really would like us to bring back culture vulture Drake because I did not enjoy this shit. Why? I just did not enjoy Certified. I need to hold myself and wait for the review to begin. So one thing about Drake, he will spare no coin on marketing or promotion or anything else that involves rolling out a project or putting that project in front of the line, thereby TikTok. And this album was no exception. Right from the album artwork, which was Apple were in their bag, Apple emojis of all these pregnant ladies, became really comical, and then became this thing that a bunch of companies and corporate entities have now taken and twisted and made their own version of to advertise and market. And it's just it's getting boring and very tired very quickly. It was funny for 1 minute, but this is the Drake effect, right? Drake is this person who everybody just wants to latch on. He's a bit of a taste maker, unfortunately, because he pulls from a lot of other tastes that already exist in the world. He just takes it, puts his voice on it, and then now it's oh, this is the wave today because Drake co-signed it. That is the Drake effect, and the Drake effect did not skip Certified Lover Boy's artwork at the very least. The artwork was designed by Damien Hirst, which when I found out, I died. Damien Hirst is an English artist. I follow him on Instagram, so he posted this. I didn't see it anywhere else. He posted it on Instagram, and I was like, you did not. I was literally you did not design that, sir. I screamed. He became really famous in the 90s. I think he is the richest artist in England today, if I'm not mistaken. Alive. So it's a pretty big deal. And so outside of the artwork, we also have the fact that when this album dropped, he had billboards. We all saw this everywhere on social media the day before it dropped, and I think that was brilliant. I saw a bunch of people on Twitter giving hot takes on some it's a billboard, it's not revolutionary billboards or billboards, but I think it's more the concept and the idea behind it than the actual fact that it's a billboard that makes this amazing, because it definitely makes the people who live in that hometown feel our boy is on Certified Lover Boy. Our boy has made it. Our boy is on Drake's album. I think that was amazing, and that got a lot of us excited the day before. And again, I think that is the Drake effect. The ability to create hype from doing things that are seemingly minor, things that are seemingly minuscule and unimportant, typically billboards, for example, I think is something that Drake is brilliant at. I just think that there's a lot of intention behind the hype, behind the visuals, and behind all the other things that seem like subsidiary things and seemingly superfluous when it comes to releasing a project and music, that Drake definitely actually puts a lot more money and effort into and energy than he does into the actual music. And for that, I can't even fault him. Child, make your money. Let's just get into samples. I think one thing about Drake that's super brilliant and smart, whoever it is that comes up with it, if he's just going with the flow or if it's his own ideas, is that Drake samples music that is very familiar to us. And I think this is super significant, because when you think of artists like Kanye or Tyler the Creator, these people, when they sample, tend to sample music. Even when we had J. Cole's album this year and I was reviewing that one, they tend to sample music that isn't very popular or recognizable. It's more just I'm gonna take the sound from the 60s that is from this rock band doing God knows what, and I'm gonna interpolate it and do this and that so that it sounds like this when I rap on it. You know what I mean? And I think that's brilliant. And I think the art of sampling is just freaking incredible. And one thing Drake does with his samples is that a lot of the times he samples music that we know. Until I find a way to know me what I do, that you. Until I find a way to know me. And then he comes in and he starts rapping and spitting on the song. But you know what? All the work's already been done. We've already been like, the song's a banger, the song slaps. Why? Because it's a sample that we all know and love. It's Masego, it's Navajo. Not to mention that Navajo is probably like that and ta-da! Probably like his two most popular songs ever. Those are also the songs that he broke out onto like the scene and pop culture and mainstream with. I think that like played on a lot of people's emotions and made us all really excited. I remember when I heard that, immediately tweeting like, this intro, capital letters. I didn't even hear what Drake had to say. It was just by virtue of hearing the Neighborhood song and then hearing it sort of interpolated, and it sort of shuts down a little bit in the middle of a song and then it comes back at the end. It was just beautifully like sampled and put into the song. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed that. And this is what I talk about when I say the Drake effect. On this project, he sampled Notorious B.I.G. twice, sampling Bun B, sampling freaking NSYNC. These are all artists who everybody and their mamas was listening to at some point, or at the very least are artists who dominated like music at one point or another in the world. So whether or not you know the actual song that's been sampled, you're familiar with that sound. And there's something about that I think is really smart and like intentional. Not to mention freaking I'm too sexy for my shirt. But we'll get into that later. There's a number of samples where I was like, this was just done so perfectly, and like, I love that. Was Puppy's Home. He sampled Daddy's Home by Montel Jordan. I'm not going to pretend to have known the song prior. I did not know. But obviously you can tell as you're listening that the thing in the background is a sampled song. And I just love how like it fit in with the rest of the song. I guess that is the nature of sampling. But like the sampling was really good. He talks a little bit about his son on there. And just absenteeism, for lack of a better word. Well, the better word is deadbeat. But anyway, the other song where I really enjoyed the sampling was on Fair Trade. Girl, hold on. I don't understand why you hate me. Love me as outside tonight. When I heard Fair Trade, I'm not gonna lie, I was just shaking a little because I was like, Charlotte Davidson, like the girl of indie movies. Like Charlotte Day Wilson is the girl of all indie movies, just so you know. Like definitely in every indie movie soundtrack there's a Charlotte Day Wilson song. Anyway, so I was like, Drake, you did not go there. Beautiful. Yeah, I liked Fair Trade a lot. Not to mention that Travis Scott mentioned Cape Town in it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just heard Cape Town and I was like, me in Pretoria was like, we made it. Like, but if we're being honest and I'm being really real, I'll get into this more in the features. Truly and really, I think Travis Scott and Drake set themselves up following freaking Sicko Mode. There was nothing you guys could do. There was literally nothing you guys could do. Because this song, like, as much as it slapped, this was not a Drake and Travis Scott magical feature. Like, it didn't give me magic. And then the last significant sample that I want to talk about is I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. I didn't enjoy that song, but I definitely recognized that song as soon as I heard it. I remember hearing it and being like, no. Being like, you did not. You did not. Like, there's no song that I hate like that song. There's no song that, and I'll actually link my video reaction because I really enjoyed the music video, and like I get that the song is a very playful thing and you're not supposed to be taking it seriously or whatever, so I mean I didn't take it too seriously, but genuinely like the song itself is garbage, but it's a banger, and it's definitely like Drake's worst banger. You get me? Other than that, there are many other samples. I'll like link a video in the description where you can go look at like all the samples in this project. So yeah, I think the sampling in the project was really interesting and was done really well. That's probably my favorite thing on this whole project, and everything else just sort of falls to the wayside and becomes a little bit just like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think definitely my favorite features on here have to be Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, I think Lil Wayne was amazing, but I definitely generally feel like Lil Wayne is a great feature artist. I think people overhype Jay-Z's feature just because it was better than his feature on Donda. But honestly, Jay-Z's feature was just calm. It was calm, it was mid. This was the most inefficient, wasteful use of Young Thug I've ever witnessed in my life. In my entire life since the day that I was born. Oh my gosh. I've never seen Young Thug be so underused and like undermined, to be honest. Young Thug deserved better, and justice for Young Thug, because they really put him at the end of Way Too Sexy like he's some little, he's just like, as Way Too Sexy's ending, you hear too sexy for my then he comes in and it's like, this is Young Thug, by the way, Drake, lest you forget. Like, can you please respect Thugger and give him a more, like, something more? Because when I saw Young Thug on this project, I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting Ice Melts. Remember Ice Melts from More Life? That song, that is how you use Young Thug in an album. This was garbage, rat, sewer infestation. Like, I think 21 Savage on this project, on Knife Talk with Project Pat, was amazing. I really like 21 Savage, but I also think Drake needed 21 Savage on that song, because that song is all about like gang outside, hang outside, don't come out the house because the gang outside. Like that song is giving like slanging freaking like Draco's. Drake is really on that song on some let the chopper sing, let the Drake, this is not your song. You're not a gangster. Stop it. Like, actually stop it. Like, I'm saying, Drake, stay in your freaking lane. Stop this. Like, why do you think you're a gangster? So I think 21 Savage was absolutely needed on a song like that, on Knife Talk, because Drake has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, and 21 Savage has every single idea. I'm not a big fan of Give On, but I think, again, the bar was set really high with Chicago Freestyle. That was a Drake Give On feature, that was a collaboration that I was like, everyone was like, first of all, who's Give On? Second of all, Drake, you did so good. And so I think a lot of us were excited when we saw Give On the track list, and I just don't think the song like matched up to my excitement. Let me talk about the most like painful feature. Not because it was bad or because the artist did bad, because the artist did well. But again, insufficient use. Thames was snubbed on the song. Fountains could have really hit harder. It's cool. I'm happy for Thames that she was on the song, because that gives her like even more like popularity. Being on a Drake album, Jesus, being on a Drake song, is amazing for anybody, and I think that's really cool for Thames. But like, Thames deserved more, and I don't think she was given the space to really like flex her muscles. So that was a little bit disappointing for me, if I'm being honest. Like, I was expecting the iconic level of like that Controller had, you get me? Fountains was the one song on this album where I was like, yeah, we getting Culture Vulture Drake injected. This was the one song on the album where I was like, we're getting Culture Vulture Drake, let's prepare, because this Drake bangs. When Drake says Drake from Canada, when, you know what I mean, Drake from Canada, why are you speaking a Jamaican accent? But okay, like a bangs. This was our one chance to really play around with culture vulturing, and man, just, it fell flat. Yeba was given a chance. Drake honored Yeba. All those artists who Drake like snubbed, he took that energy and gave it to Yeba and said, I'm gonna honor you, and I'm gonna give you a spot, I'm gonna give you a slot on this project. And Yeba's Heartbreak was just beautiful. For all the missed opportunities with like Thames and Young Thug and them, I think Drake definitely makes up for on Yeba's Heartbreak, where Yeba has a whole 2 minutes 13 seconds of just Yeba singing. The album itself as a body of work, I think, was a very poor thing. The sequencing was kind of terrible. I don't think that cohesion has to come in the form of like some linear story that you're telling throughout. You really don't have to be Tyler the Creator for me to respect your album as a cohesive album. Just, this felt a little bit like, we're gonna put this song. And then if I had to pick my favorite songs on this project, I'd definitely say Champagne Poppy, Champagne Poetry, Poppy's Home, Fair Trade, Yeba's Heartbreak, and No Friends in the Industry. Those 5 are my favorite songs on this project. The rest of the songs, I'm just like, there's so many filler songs in here, so many songs that could have been thrown away. It's unnecessarily long. nothing has warranted the like lengthiness of this project, and I think it just needs a lot more attention. But Drake doesn't need to be honest. He's Drake, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So rating for Certified Lover Boy out of 10. Sure, I don't want to be a meanie bobini. I really don't want to be a meanie bobini, but I'm afraid this is like a 5. Highly anticipated. All of us are really excited. You really can't be a Drake hater because he is Drake and he's super lovable and funny and lit, and you can see it in his music videos and stuff. The rollout was brilliant and all that sort of stuff, and that's where most of my points come from. But the album itself, the meat of it, the content was a little bit lacking for me. It felt a little bit formulaic. Even the content and like what he's talking about and rapping about, lots of problematic stuff. But Drake is definitely a problematic fave for many people. But yeah, honestly, this is a 5. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment, like, subscribe. Cool. Peace and love. Mwah.